work a little bit with Arnold and budgetary type stuff. I'm threatening to cut budgets, and you call me trenchant as I walk up here. It makes me a little frightened. So that's my personal story about the word of the day. Today, Cheryl is going to be talking to us from the Advanced Communication Manual Story. This is a little bit different from some of the projects that we worked here on our Confident Communication Manual, because you're starting to step out away from typical presentations we happen to do in business, moving into that first step maybe towards art. And she's completed her first project on this. She's working on her second project in this manual. This project is Let's Get Personal. And she's working towards developing some of those personal story elements of her presentation and moving beyond the folktale, which she shared back at Halloween time, to try and incorporate some of those personal stories, and which is, of course, a great skill in any presentation you're doing. You think of some of the most inspirational speeches you might have heard over the years. They incorporate a lot of personal stories and lessons that we've learned. And this is a lesson that we could all learn a little bit from, especially as we are homeowners, maybe we've recently moved, or we're just getting started out. She is going to share an experience that she had, and her project is entitled My Kitchen Remodeling Project. This will be a 6 to 8 minute speech, Bob, so please give her green at 6, yellow at 7, and red at 8 minutes. With My Kitchen Remodeling Project, please welcome Cheryl Ketchens.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. Have any of you embarked on a major remodel project at your home? Does anyone? Do we have anybody? Does anyone have a regular schedule, a routine that you keep daily? There's something that you do every single day. You do it almost the exact same time of the day, every day. Is there anybody that does it? I think we can all relate to that. You have a schedule, you have a routine. Now just imagine someone coming into your home and disrupting that routine. And they not only do that for a day or a week, they do this for 8 weeks. They come into your home and they disrupt your schedule. That is exactly what Al did. So my story begins in 1999. That's 15 years ago. And who's involved? Al, the contractor, my husband Michael, and myself, as you know, Cheryl. Setting takes place in our home. And what is the problem? The problem, in essence, will be, as you see, will be Al, okay? Having the contractor in the home. And his disruption of our home for 8 entire weeks. What are some of the things we did right? I would say one of the first things that we did right is that we sat down with the contractor. That's one of the first things, an element of doing a major remodel, is sitting down with your contractor and discussing what it is you need to do. So that's number one. That's what we did right. Number two, we went over in detail what we were expecting to get out of that remodel. What we wanted our kitchen to look like. This is our vision. We talked about cost. We asked him about his licensing, whether or not he had his workman comp insurance in place, all those things, whether or not he had a crew. He had a crew member, which is key to this story. Well, Al agrees that he has all those things in place. He has a license. He has a crew. He's got the insurance. He's got all the key elements in place. So 2 weeks after we sit down, and after we've had that sit-down meeting, Al arrives at my door. Oh, welcome, Al. You're here to start that project, right? Yes, I am. But Al is a towering gentleman, relatively over 6 foot tall, ash blonde hair, he towers over my husband and I at a mere 5'8" and 5'4" in stature. I would say, if I venture to say what size shoe he wore, I would say it was probably a 13, size 13. So Al was a big gentleman. So he walks into we exchange niceties and hello, how are you, and that kind of stuff, and then Al enters the kitchen. He looks around to survey the work that he's going to have to do. While he's doing it, I'm standing there thinking, where's his crew? So I allow him to look around the area first. He comes out, and I look at him and I say, Al, with my head tilted tilted back, with a little skepticism on my face. Al, where's your crew? Oh, I can do this. I'm going to just gut the kitchen myself. I don't need a crew right now. I can handle this all by myself. I said, oh, okay. You're sure? Oh, yeah, not a problem. It's only going to take me a couple of days. So he goes out to his truck and starts getting materials to come back in. And he immediately begins pounding and knocking and ripping and tearing. So over the course of 3 days, Al guts the entire kitchen all by himself. He returns the following week, again, with no crew members. So we go through this same routine again. I ask, Al, where's your crew? Al says, oh no, I'm going to be doing this first, the preliminary stuff, by myself. I don't need a crew yet. They'll be coming a little later. So I go, okay. I'm still a little skeptic. Well, I say something to my husband, Michael. Michael's always the one that's kind of laid back, oh, everything's going to be okay, that kind of thing. And I generally am, with many other things, laid back. But not when someone comes to my home and they start ripping your house apart. In essence, they're ripping your life apart. So Mike's going, oh, honey, you don't need to worry. Al's got everything under control. I'm telling you, well, he's got no crew. When we sat down, he said he had a crew. I don't know where they are. I think there's going to be problems. Oh, just relax. Al's got everything under control. Okay, let me just relax for a bit, step back, take a deep breath. Mike has assured me Al has everything under control. So this goes on, week after week. Well, now we're into 3 weeks. Al still has no crew. And he's got my kitchen ripped out. We had agreed upon a timeline, and that's not being met. So I'm beginning to get worried. Worrying is not something I do a lot of. But I was worried because my home was torn apart. My refrigerator is sitting out in the dining room, along with all the dishes and the dust and everything else. So the kitchen, as we know, is the heart of the home. That's where everybody hangs out. And now you no longer have that routine where you can go in there and hang out because your refrigerator's out in your dining room, and so is the old stove that he hasn't taken out of there yet, but he's got a tarp down, of course, to protect my floor. But he's got everything torn apart. So he begins doing the work by himself. He paints the walls. I look at the 2 big windows on either side of the kitchen. Our kitchen is on the front of the home, so can you picture these 2 huge windows, very odd size, but they're huge, so that looks out onto the street, onto the road. Al decides, well, there's no paint on the trim. Well, in the meantime, my husband is at work, I'm at work part-time, so we're absent, which is part of the problem. We're not there to oversee everything. Come back in one day, Al's not trimmed those windows, and I ask him, I say, Al, when are you going to trim the windows? Oh, no, I'm not doing that. That's extra. And I said, excuse me, Al, that is part of the job. And when you came in and you assessed the job and you told us that you could do everything, and the price that you quoted us, that includes trimming out the windows. I know that. So we finally come to some kind of agreement, and Al trims out the windows. Al disconnects the light switches. So the light switch, the first one when you enter the kitchen, it's a very long kitchen, it no longer works. So I ask Al after a few days, Al, when are you going to fix that light switch so it's working again? Oh, I'm not. I said, oh, you've got to be kidding me. You are going to fix my light switch. Well, I'm a big guy and all you have is a crawl space. You don't have a regular size attic. I said, that's beside the point. Al, just imagine this scenario. You get up one night and you're going for your milk and cookies down into the kitchen. You come down the stairs and the first light switch you reach for no longer works. Would that work for you? Well, no. I said, well, it doesn't work for me either. So you will fix this light so it's functional again. So this went on weeks and weeks. The problem here is the absence of the owners to oversee this project. So this man took on a bigger project than he could handle. He agreed that he had crew members. They never showed up. The house is torn apart. We have to wait till he puts it back. The coup de grace of this whole story is the day that he built the countertop and the stove that he left sitting out on the floor for 2 weeks. And I was wondering why he wouldn't put that stove in that opening. My husband goes, "Oh, there's not a problem. Al's got that taken care of." We come in for breakfast. Al says, "Oh, we got a problem." Well, what's that, Al? "The stove won't fit." And I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. You've been here 8 weeks now, and the countertop looks all pretty, all glassy blue, and the stove doesn't fit. Well, guess what, mister? You're going to make that stove fit. Mike goes, "Honey, calm down." "But Al, you better make that stove fit." So Al puts the stove in, but what we had to do is downsize the drawers that we initially had for the cabinetry and put in a cooking pantry. The project was finished, and the end story is be home to oversee your kitchen remodel projects or any major project that you do. Thank you.